Welcome to Time Saver Meals. I'm Rachel, and my co-cook tonight is Duke. And we are making a family-friendly mac and cheese, which means it appeals to the adults and not just the kids. We already made the actual mac and cheese. We cooked 2 boxes according to the directions. Thick and creamy for this recipe is my all-time favorite. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add white wine vinegar.
And it tastes good.
Diced ham. And shallots. And then we're gonna mix all that together and put it in the pan and cook it. Now, I use white wine vinegar, but you could actually use vermouth instead. But because we don't drink alcohol, I don't have vermouth, and I didn't want to go buy it just for this, even though we make this quite often. So instead, we're gonna go ahead and cook this. And then normally you can add peas, but because I have a child who doesn't like peas, I'm not gonna make the whole meal. Yes, Jordan. I'm not gonna ruin the whole meal, so we're gonna make Parmesan peas, and that way they can add them to it as if, add it to their meal if they want and mix it together, or they can eat it separately. So we're gonna put this back on the stove, and we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of white wine vinegar, ham, and shallots. You can cut up either 2 shallots, or you can use about 2 teaspoons of already cooked shallots. So we're gonna go ahead and get this back on the stove and get this started, and we're gonna bring the camera over. Okay, so we're at the stove, and I'm behind the camera, and you can just hear me being silly about whether or not we're recording. We're going to add the white vinegar, wine vinegar, or the vermouth.
And that is not water. It looks like water.
It does look like water. All right. And then, Elizabeth or Duke, can you put all this in? We're trying to add this quickly because we don't want the mac and cheese noodles to get mushy. No, mushy.
It gets mushy?
Yeah, noodles can get mushy.
Oh, I
So,
remember that.
We're gonna stir this all in. And now I'm gonna put my 2 teaspoons of shallots in. 1, 2. Now we're just stirring until the liquid is rendered down or just is almost gone. You can see when she picks up a little bit that there's liquid on the end. Not much. We're almost done. So we're just mixing in the ham. Now here's where you would add the peas if you're gonna make it with peas. So you could have like a 1 pan dish. All right, let's go ahead and take that off. Let me just double check and make sure. One more. Yeah, it is done. So we are gonna take that off and go put it over here on the counter. Duke, can you carry that? No?
Yeah. Wait, I can carry that too. You just hold. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna get 2 mats. Yeah.
Okay. And then while this is baking in the oven for a few minutes, we are going to, you got it?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you got 2.
I want this one over here. All right, sorry. Technical difficulty. I am not as good as Jordan in this. We're gonna pour this into the pan. Elizabeth, can you hold this still? And just put this in the, watch this, like this. Oh, there we go. We're gonna pour this into the pan real quick. So if you have peas, you could add frozen peas, or if you have fresh peas, you can add them as well. Either one works. Most people have frozen. I don't recommend canned peas.
Ew.
Well, yeah, no, but some people like them. All right, now we're gonna sprinkle in.
Well, I've never tried canned peas before.
No, because I'm not a fan of them. And you can smell, it kind of has a vinegary smell to it, but that does not mean that's what it ends up tasting. So we mix in a little more cheese. So it gets kind of, not rid of, but it adds and enhances the boxed macaroni and cheese. And then we're gonna cook this until the cheese is melted through at 350 for maybe 5 minutes, depending on how fast your oven cooks. And then we will make the peas. Why don't you go ahead? We're going to go ahead and start on our Parmesan peas while the mac and cheese, grown-up mac and cheese is cooking. I have frozen peas in here and I put them in a cold bowl of water to help them separate out. You can tell these were already used and I'm just reusing them. So I don't want to add them frozen and then cook them in, because sometimes people overcook the peas. So this way we'll just heat them up for like maybe 2 minutes as we cook. But first we're going to start with half an onion and we're going to saute it in here in this pan. We're going to add our onion. I added maybe a tablespoon of olive oil. And I've added this. We're just going to saute this until they're a little bit translucent, because you don't want a big mouthful of crunchy onion. Duke was going to take it off.
So you can see what it looks like.
So you can see what it looks like. But we're just going to stir this. I'll actually have her stir and then I'll take the camera off. But first, we're going to add some garlic.
Ooh.
I did not pull my garlic out. I'm going to pull my garlic out real quick and then show you the pan. And
We're having peas?
yep, we're making Parmesan peas with this. So right now can you see the pan?
Yeah.
We're just sauteing the onion. Leave it there. I'm going to add some garlic to it. And that's to your taste. If you're not a big garlic fan, you don't have to. I'm going to add about that much. So a teaspoon approximately. And then we're going to stir that in. And as you can see, I like to cook with purple onion the best. It gives it a little bit more of an oniony flavor, whereas I find a white onion too mild and a yellow onion just isn't the right flavor. Okay, so you can see that this is pretty much ready to go. I'm going to add my peas, which I had soaking in a bowl because they were frozen. And I don't want to add them too long that they become mushy. I just wanted to warm them up. So I put them in a bag or in a bowl of cold water to just let them defrost. And then I'm going to add them in. And you'll add a little bit of liquid with it. That's okay. Not a big deal.
Nope.
We're going to stir this in. It added a little bit more liquid than I wanted. So we're going to cook down the liquid. Added a whole heck of a lot more liquid than I wanted. Normally,
Oh, yeah.
well, this is,
It's going to be liquidy.
must have defrosted more than I wanted. Usually if you put it in a bowl, I must have had my water too warm and didn't pay attention. It just defrosts them enough that there's not a bunch of liquid. Usually there's just a tiny bit of liquid. But since these peas were still a bit frozen, hopefully it'll render down quickly or reduce.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to stir these. And you just want them until they're warm. And then we'll add the Parmesan. Okay, so we had to cheat because there was way too much liquid and empty some of the liquid out. Now, as you can see that there's not much liquid in here. So we're going to go ahead and add the Parmesan. Do you want to add that, Duke?
Yeah.
Why don't you add that? You just add this to taste. And then you're going to add a little more at the end on top. Go ahead and add a little bit more, sweetie.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's fine. Stir it in. And then we just do a tablespoon of chicken broth to give it a little bit of flavor, and some salt
A cake of flavor.
to give it a little bit of flavor.
Is this going to be on the side?
And then some salt and pepper.
So if they want to add it?
To their casserole?
Yeah.
Yes, they can. Okay, we're just waiting for that to cook down a little bit. That's going to give it a little bit of a salty flavor.
Look at all that water.
It's okay. It'll cook down.
I know.
It's not water. It's called chicken stock.
Well, it doesn't know.
You want to get all the peas in it so it gets a little bit of a flavor. You can see the cheese is starting to become a little bit stringy.
Yeah. Kind of like, it reminds me of, what is his name? One of the Spider-Man's spider webs.
Oh, yes, it does. And then we're going to put some salt and pepper on it. And we're going to go ahead and plate this.
Yummy.
Okay. We'll turn the heat off. Good job, Duke.
Oh, my hand.
Okay, we're back with the mac and cheese. And we're going to go ahead and plate this. It's bubbling on the sides. And the cheese is all melted.
And your forehead is a little cut off.
And is my forehead cut off? Duke was doing the camera. That's okay. We're gonna go ahead and give her some of the Parmesan peas and onions.
Oh, can we take a little less of that?
Yeah, but we'll take it in a minute. And there, you have dinner.
Yummy.
And what do we say?
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
And bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
And if you like our videos, give us a thumbs up.
A thumbs up.
A thumbs up. Have a good one.
Bye.